Coming up on Be Kind, Let's Rewind.
Today we are doing Ghostbusters 84 versus Ghostbusters 2016.
It means put a chick in the linguine and make her dead.
Unrelated to the
that's
topic
nothing to do with what we're going to talk about today.
Everybody needs to get over themselves.
What could have possibly gone wrong here?
It was Scooby-Doo.
Oh, Scoob,
Yeah.
this movie sure sucks.
But when the Ghostbusters trilogy set was released in 2022, guess which movie wasn't in it? Dude,
They got Rocky V. Paul Feig's just like,
Come on, pug. Touch me and I'll sue.
he went on Twitter. You'll never guess what he said. He goes, "How dare you basically look over this movie? It won a Kids' Choice Award."
He said, I got one of these.
Paul, not the children, please.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Cue music. He slimed me.
That's great! Actual physical contact!
Welcome to Be Kind, Let's Rewind, the nostalgia podcast no one asked for, with your hosts, Chris, Leaf, and Shadwick.
And that was the third time I got crabs. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Be Kind, Let's Rewind, the nostalgia podcast that no one asked for. Today we are doing Ghostbusters 84 versus Ghostbusters 2016 in this epic main event title fight you guys all wanted. Leaf, Shadwick, how's it been going this week? Shadwick, me and you are a little bit under the weather. Leaf, you're actually healthy as a horse for once.
For once, man.
Yeah, man. And that doesn't really make sense to me. Like,
It's not fair.
I get that you and we're both sick from our little trip to Tijuana.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like,
I can't.
But you would expect if you pay a professional.
Let's see, me and the hooker went back to
The
my
hooker
place.
and I.
Excuse me. The hooker and I.
She would be professional and not get you sick.
Well, I mean, and that's probably where the lack of professionalism is. We are a professional podcast. We're not going to come on here and give you guys AIDS. Get you sick.
Are you insinuating, Shadwick, that the prostitute we hired
The hooker and I.
was unvaccinated?
Well, what I'm suggesting is Chris and I are both sick. Why are you not sick?
Well, I think you.
I know.
I think you know.
I know. I'm not saying that I paid, but I'm saying she was paid plenty. She was paid enough for 6 people.
Leaf just likes over the pants stuff, man. It's something that you're gonna have to learn about him. It's a little weird, but it's something he's always been into. So
I'm a
maybe
weird guy, man. I am who I am. Deal with it.
he likes like Freddy Got Finger. He likes him to whack him in his legs with a pole.
Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Oh, come on! I want to see that bleed!
Yeah, dude.
Feel the tingle.
Or was it?
I forgot about that bitch.
Was it big? Was it Big Daddy? He was like,
Oh, you're sick! You're sick! Why would you do that to me? I'm just kidding you, pal.
I'm a cross between her and the dead foot guy from Mr. Deeds.
Mr. Deeds.
that's it. Mr. Deeds.
Look out for the Blackfoot, and he just hey, we'll keep this intro short because this is going to be a juicy one. So let's head over to. Yeah, so on Booze of the Week this week, when you're making some tea for your throat, it's supposed to be 90% whiskey and 10% tea, right? Did I do this right? Good.
Yeah.
Thank you to the gentleman Jack for assisting me on this one, and good luck everybody else.
Hey,
So you got
hold
some-
on.
So you got some old Jack's root juice.
It's old Jack's fruit juice with a little hint of tea, a splash.
Have y'all either of
Scotch.
y'all seriously though? Have y'all ever really either of y'all had rock and rye before?
No.
Really?
What is
that? Is actually
like a whiskey?
Oh, gentlemen, I need to introduce you. It is actually the old school Southern cough syrup method, and it's basically whiskey with lemon juice, honey, and like all the stuff you would use for your throat. And when Rachel and I get sick, that's generally
Isn't
what
that just a hot toddy?
Yes. Yes.
I mean,
Yes, smart ass.
I feel like we're saying the same thing.
It's basically a hot toddy. Yeah, you warm it up. It's just listen. It's just liquor with lemon and honey in it. All right, like let's be 100%.
All right,
it's supposed to have
Sherlock,
other-
you got me.
You got me. It's secret spices, but it's really that's all it is. I mean, you get drunk and then you got some stuff for your throat, and that's it. So,
That's it. And you don't feel it because you're hammered. So that's what's really important.
Exactly. That's the painkiller, dude. That's what they used to do back in the day, dude. It was cocaine and liquor. That's how you cured your illnesses.
Take me back. Shadow, what do you got, man?
Well, I'm also doing the hot toddy, I guess, or the whatever the fuck Leaf said, and
I think he called it Richard's Rind.
Except I didn't have any tea.
Or honey, or
And
lemon.
Chadwick looks at the camera and seconds. Good luck, everybody else. So let's go. Leaf, man, what do you got? Are you drinking something at least? Will there be one of us sober on this?
There will not be, my friend. I have a delicious Yinling traditional lager that
lager really hits a spot.
This lager hits the spot.
Oh, that does
and my
hit the
wife
spot.
poured me a nice tall frosty glass.
Frosted glass of OJ.
Wait, I told my wife you were gonna fucking say that. I told her you were gonna say that shit. You fucking did.
You just can't say it. You just can't say it without it happening, man.
Nobody knows. Okay, does anyone remember the old Tasmanian Devil television show? Yeah, but
it was the remake.
But his dad in the remake was basically voice acted,
Crosby?
modeled off of Bing Crosby.
Was this when the artwork went to shit? Like,
yeah, it was real it was more it was like when everything like Tiny Toons came out and all that shit.
like more like straight lined.
Yeah. And his
Yeah,
dad
I was gonna
always
say
like,
it depends. It
nice
depends
tall
on what.
frosted glass of OJ. That was like what he always fucking said. He was always like handing out OJ.
Shouldn't his dad be more like?
No, they should have been.
Every time I'm in the kitchen, you're in the kitchen, and the goddamn refrigerator. Eating up all the food.
He should
That
have.
would have been great for a kids show, Chadwick. I don't know why you were on the writing team for that one.
We know what Animaniacs did, so well. All right, man. So you got your nice Yingling, and before we go over into our topic, our versus 1984 versus 2016 Ghostbusters, I want to go over quickly, completely unrelated shit stuck in my head this week.
It means put a chick in the linguine and make her fucking dead. And I want it live.
Completely unrelated. Unrelated.
Yeah,
to the
that's
topic
nothing.
today.
Nothing to do with what we're going to talk about
Yeah.
today.
Everybody needs to get
Hey,
over
guys.
themselves.
One more thing. Before we get started, Leaf, I've not seen you drink a beer that big. I think since we were in Atlanta.
Oh,
Atlanta, the infamous night.
Yeah, the infamous night. And I think we all remember what happened that night. I had to get sober and then re-drunk
To nurse me back to health.
To get you
You're
out,
a hero.
to get you out of a little bind that you got us in when we were coming back from the hotel or to the hotel from the Braves game. They were.
now that we have contributed to some Patreon content, let's go ahead and get over to our
Nope, you're gonna leave that shit in.
1984 versus 2016 Ghostbusters versus Ghostbusters. Leaf, go ahead and lead us off. You got the format ready. Let's rock and rizzle.
I've got it, ladies and gentlemen, as Chris said, with Ghostbusters 1984 versus Ghostbusters 2016.
Just
one of the most.
Throw it out one more time. There's a loose title for the series, History, Present, Versus, that we're still throwing around.
Oh,
that would be our HPV. So anyway, just continue with this nonsense.
I had to edit. I didn't have enough time, but I tried to edit that in so bad on the last bumper.
It was called AP Ghostbusters, right? Mm-hmm. The 2016, was that the official title?
I think.
I have no idea.
No, I think it was actually just Ghostbusters 2016. It's all I've ever seen it as.
But weren't they like floating the idea of like calling it AP? Like it's a play on like advanced placement, but we all knew it meant all pussy.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I haven't seen it called that.
Honestly, I haven't seen it, but I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. They had a lot of wonky ideas, but we're going to be going over the usual versus format. And first on the list is cast comparison: Ghostbusters 1984 versus 2016. We're going to start off, of course, with Ghostbusters 1984, cast consisting of Bill Murray as Venkman, Dan Aykroyd as Ray, Harold Ramis as Egon, Ernie Hudson as Winston, and of course the supporting cast of characters Rick Moranis, Sigourney Weaver, and the illustrious Annie Potts.
I think for this one too, what's starting to separate the two, just out of the gate, two of the main four wrote this. Whenever you're a writer for your own movie, like there's just something there. Like, yes, it can go wrong with some egomaniacs and they'll put themselves way too much in the movie or whatever. But when, like, again, Harold Ramis is a fucking genius comedic writer. Dan Aykroyd is no slouch.
I 100% agree with you. I believe what you see with a lot of these older films is what I will refer to as the Rocky effect.
Hey, how do you spell Del Rio?
That is your baby. You wrote it. You're directing it. It becomes something personal to you. And so honestly, I feel like you put more into it. So I not only do I 100% agree with you, I believe that actually probably, I haven't even thought about it, but it plays into what was one of the many things lacking in Ghostbusters.
And the director was Reichman, right?
Alan, yes.
So that's the other thing too. That's a great point about Dan Aykroyd on this. Is his original script got ripped to shreds? Basically,
yes.
He had this concept, but he was open-minded enough to let Harold Ramis and Reichman start. Hey, we see it going this way. Let's write it this way, and him just not being like, "No, this is my script." Like,
was Aykroyd's first version? Was it a comedy?
I believe so. It had to be, man. It had, what was it?
Yeah, including
Eddie Murphy and John.
Well,
Belushi,
that's true. I was just thinking he's like so immersed into the spiritual world.
Right.
He is.
Yeah.
This is actually based off of like a legitimate
his uncle or something, right? Like
it's like his uncle or something of that nature. I didn't go into it as much, but it's based on an idea from Dan Aykroyd's Weird. If y'all know anything about Dan Aykroyd now.
I know that one scene was based on his uncle where he's laying in the bed and his belt's coming undone.
Yeah. No, the entire
There's no ghost involved though.
That was a dream.
Were involved.
That was a dream.
You're just dreaming.
Yeah, it's
Oh, I got ectoplasm all over me.
It's there's some basis in reality there.
So warm.
That then Aykroyd knew some people that were into the paranormal.
And he also to go into the famous couple that the what's the most like haunted house in America or whatever, like the Amityville or whatever, like that famous couple. He was, I think he was a big fan of theirs as well, or was very much aware of them when other people weren't. So he's always been deep into this. But again, to let somebody else, to you write a script and somebody be like, I like the premise, we're gonna rip this to shreds, and you be like, cool, that's big.
And to his credit, and as we'll talk about more, that is one reason that this was such a success, because so many people had their input, including Bill Murray, who was just simply a comedian, right?
Right.
One of the original founders of Saturday Night Live. which I really want to harp on. Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, already at this point in time, right? This is 1984, people. Already legends. Already. They created what as Saturday Night Live.
And because of that, they had the chemistry there, too. The chemistry together was already there because of Saturday Night Live. And I think they worked together before this, maybe.
And we do already have a full review of Ghostbusters 84. You can click on the link here.
Yeah, as soon as I figure out how to do it, we'll put it right there.
Let that in.
Like,
that embedded. That embedded. Yeah.
Well, all right,
and
man.
so true. Like they and they brought in other comedians and actors, actresses, and
and there was a lot of ad lib too because they were great comedians.
Yes.
Well, and you got to too, like, be as a director, Reichman knew, when to ad lib and when not to ad lib, when to stick, when not. They just had a feel, man, and also again, 3 writers on set at the same time that have a vision and are sharing the same vision are going to be like, you're going to listen to each other. You're a team,
right?
Yeah.
So I think that's big.
I just want to say also too that for a lot of you might not remember it, depending on your age, but there was a different vibe in 1984, obviously, than in 2016. Like, movies you had to be done like sort of quick, fast, and hurry.
Yeah,
it wasn't this like Titanic epic to VHS video cassette kind of like storytelling mode. You had to be done with your story in an hour, an hour and a half, an hour and 45, like in and out done. That was the way that it was done. And a lot of people don't remember that. They don't remember when we go and rewatch the Goonies, we watch, we've had podcasts on all these movies, Ghostbusters, a lot of these older, early 90s, early or late 80s movies, they're in and out. Like they're done
under
the whole
2
story.
Hours. Always under
they're
2
under.
hours.
Yeah, The Last Dragon that I keep trying to get you guys to do.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this time? Shut up!
But you won't because you're...
Listen, I am the last one.
We're going to do it, all right, Shadow? We're going to do it. And I think it's underappreciated, the fact that, you were required... There was no fat on a lot of these movies. Like, when you're watching them, there is a clean, concise story told.
Because this was very much a theater business back then, too. So it's like, there's no streaming rights or any of that shit. It was like, hell, the video rental rights weren't even there yet. VHS wasn't really a huge thing yet. So you had to get your at least 4 showings. If you're under 2 hours, you're getting 4, maybe 5 showings a day. And that adds up over multiple theaters, and that's what it's a business, right? That's what they're doing.
Which is, yes, absolutely, which is huge. But for some reason, I don't know why that changed. And I really think maybe that's one of the reasons that that a lot of movies are suffering. And that also is one of the reasons that, movies like Ghostbusters was PG-13, and like it would borderline on R in certain respects, right? Like back in the 80s. I remember I wasn't allowed to see the original Ghostbusters. Like, that was off limits for me as a, strapping young 8-year-old or whatever I was when,
But we would have been like 4 and 5 when it came out.
Yeah,
so,
right. But by the time but even by the time we were allowed to watch it, correct, it was still in the movie that, if it wasn't TV edited, you weren't allowed to watch it. Like, it was scary.
I think I got to watch the first one because the second one was coming out.
Yeah, that's what happened with us. And
that was
the second
88,
one,
probably?
Yeah, 88, 89. And I think the second one, too, was a little kitted up because they started to see the toy line coming to the forefront. And they're like, we're about to clean up on some merch and cartoons.
Well,
yes.
And they're like,
way to go. If you thought it was kitted up in 89, wait until 2016.
Speaking of which, let's go over to that cast.
Yeah. That cast consisted of Kristen Wiig as Erin Gilbert, Melissa McCarthy as Abby Yates, Kate McKinnon as Julian Holtzman, Leslie Jones as Patty Tolan, supporting characters Ben Harris as Rowan, and Thor, Chris Hemsworth, as
Kevin,
the mentally handicapped Kevin.
Yes,
there's just no other way to describe.
Looking at this cast, like, it should work,
right?
On paper, I 100% agree with Chadwick.
You got Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy,
who've worked together before,
and Bridesmaids with the director too.
Same
right?
director, yeah. Mm-hmm. They came up with a shit scene.
No, Megan. No! Look away! Megan, no! Look away! Oh!
They had the street shit scene. That's top scene all time. That's funny.
Excellent
as fuck.
film.
And Kate McKinnon is great. Like she was a highlight when she was on SNL.
Yep. She's really good at those awkward characters, which they cast her in. So
Right.
Yes.
box checked.
Yep.
And yet you can tell they play to the strengths of each and every character. Kristen Wiig is flawless as her character, as this awkward, just goofy, weird, sort of in between jobs kind of character. Melissa McCarthy is obviously physical humor. Shows has been, shows will be.
And Melissa McCarthy, I'll give her credit too on some depth too, because she's played a couple movies where she's just batshit crazy, and she does that really, really well, and it comes off neurotic and funny.
What is it? Identity theft?
Yes.
Identity thief with Bateman?
No, what's the one with Bullock too? Sandra Bullock. She's in one with her.
It's The Heat. I never watched that one.
I watched that one.
I think that was another.
Feel the heat.
Well, I think that's the same director again.
But that one had its, she was kind of the over the top character or whatever. But then she kind of plays it straight in this one, but still has.
Watch Leaf drinking that beer, man. It's going to get. It's going to get so bad.
Cold.
Once it hits your lips.
Dull.
So
frosty glass.
He's going to do one.
I want to just go ahead and just get out in front of the elephant in the room, because if you tuned in for us to be like Ghostbusters 2016 sucks because women were cast in it. Unfortunately, you're not going to get that out of this podcast because it's just not the case. It's not the cast's fault. Like, this is actually a pretty talented cast. And if anything, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say they are really fucking lucky that narrative got thrown out there, or this movie would have been sitting front and center at the fucking Razzies, because it was just saying. Because now people had pity and they were like, oh, yeah, no, we're going to support women. This movie's great. Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes, 100%. Like,
yeah, and we go into that more depth. We will definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. I have no doubt.
Like, you know what? With better marketing up front, this could have been Barbie.
Very true.
Which I've still not seen that, so I can't speak to whether or not that's good or bad, or
it's all right.
Fucking sucks, like I heard, but
it's all right.
Yeah. Well, and so like to Chris and Chadwick's point. We were talking about Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd being, Saturday Night Live alumni. Now, these ladies obviously weren't, creators. They're also Saturday Night Live alumni as well. They are not slouches. These are experienced actresses, writers, character actors,
experienced ad-libbers. When you're on that show, you have to be a good ad-libber. And
and all extremely talented and wildly funny. In their own right, depending on which scenario, and so that they're in. And Chris brings up a fantastic point. It's like, okay, then why do we go on, as everyone generally accepts, to say that the movie sort of kind of didn't work for most people, right?
Right.
And because again, Chris is right. On paper, you have the cast.
I want to make a loose comparison too, and I was talking to you guys about this the other night.
Yeah, while I found this.
And it's the NBA like little footnote that I found, and there's a year, and it was towards the end of Karl Malone's career.
We're talking about how WNBA sucks.
The next time I watch a WNBA game will be the first time I watch a WNBA
game. Google.
Yeah. So in the NBA, Karl Malone and Gary Payton, who are both all-stars in their own right, I think top 50 players all time, played alongside Shaq and Kobe for the Lakers 1 year. And it was one of those, on paper, that team should blow through the entire league and have no problem. They didn't win the title. They didn't even win their conference championship. Sometimes shit looks good on paper, and it just doesn't fucking work. And again, in wrestling, as I always tie it back to, you can have a dude that's jacked, he's good on the mic, he's got a good work rate in the ring, and just something's not connecting with the crowd, and they call it the it factor, and you can't describe it. When you see it, that dude has it, or that dude doesn't have it, and it's like that with movies. Sometimes movies, they check all the boxes, you see them, and then it just, something's missing.
Right.
The mystery here, though, is that all these ladies, well, maybe not Leslie Jones, but all of them have the it factor. I think. It's no secret. I'm not a big fan of Leslie Jones. I don't particularly think she's funny.
Right.
But
I mean, that's okay. You're allowed to have an opinion.
And that's an opinion.
It's fine.
I'm not saying fuck her. She should never work.
Yeah. It's just your comedy.
You're not a fan of her
I'm with you on that.
I would only do that to her face.
I just don't have. I don't that particular style of humor or whatever. Like I just other people have done it better for me. So
yes. I 100% agree. And so since I have y'all here, like, I think that what, in my opinion, I'm going to get y'all's opinion on this. So we're talking about the cast. I honestly feel like what was missing is potentially the synergy between the actors in Ghostbusters 1984, for whatever reason, worked way better than the synergy in 2016. And that could have had a lot to do with the script, and we're going to talk more about that, and the input from other actors, etc. I'll be honest with you. The funniest person, this is my personal opinion, the funniest person in Ghostbusters 1984 is hands down, without a shadow of a doubt, supporting character Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
Not even close to me personally.
You might be on your own there.
You don't think so?
I like Murray better, I think. I think he's funnier, but
Harold Ramis, he's sneaky funny.
Yeah, see, that's the other thing, too. And I think this is where they lacked. There was no true straight man in 2016. Like, there was no... Like, so you didn't have, like... Kristen Wiig was kind of the straight person early on, and then, now she went goofy when she gets all excited or whatever. And it's like... Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis were... Because they were so serious, when those one-liners... That shit he's saying when he's walking, and he was like, "This is the time I had to stop you from drilling a hole in your head."
That is actually okay. All right,
that would have.
That's
worked.
Actually my favorite. That's my favorite line in the movie, which sort of betrays what I just said. That is still one of the funniest lines. But I still feel like Rick Moranis stole the show. But that line,
no, he did. Him. That character is like laughs all the way, especially when you're old enough and you understand what you're watching. Like you understand that character exists in real life. There's the real awkward like. Whatever. That's funny. But I think that this 2016, there really wasn't McKinnon's going to be weird through the whole thing. But Murray also was like cool, funny. Like, there's a swab there. There was this other one. It lacked those elements. And
it did.
I feel like,
they weren't connected as characters. I want to say even the city. I don't even know for sure. Was 2016 supposed to be in New York City?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. It's supposed to be in the same Columbia kind of area, too.
But I don't think you get any, at least I didn't notice, any like those traditional New York, skylines. You don't get anything that like makes you feel like you're there. You don't get the library that we had in 84. Yeah.
I can tell you one of the things that bothered me, is if you just want to compare Bill Murray's character versus Kristen Wiig's character, and I mean they're completely different, and they're supposed to generally serve as the same purpose, though. Like you can tell they were sort of designed as like the main, protagonist, and Bill Murray's character is sort of a scumbag,
right?
Like immediately you learn so much more about his background, and it isn't the fact that and Chris, you learn a lot about Kristen Wiig's character, but his is just so much funny. Like compare the two. Like Bill Murray is clearly a skeezer. He didn't really study in class. He sort of just leached off the other people who were smarter than him.
He's kind of a con artist.
Yeah. He's a con artist a little bit. He's more interested in money and fame and power. Everything about his character.
And the all-powerful pussy.
It's Pussalaya, right?
Yes. Yes, dude. I bet it. Kristen Wiig's character is immediately not as funny. It's like more tragic. She's trying to get tenure, like in respect in her genre and in her area in the university. She's trying to get this is her first opportunity to kind of cross over and become more well respected, and like automatically it's just sadder, like so immediately.
I think maybe I thought Kristen Wiig was supposed to identify more with Ray.
Well, I understand why you're saying that, because that's a good point. Her character is sort of plays more characters. It sort of crosses over lines where Bill Murray's was well defined. Like he was not the smart guy, and he never pretended to be. He just and Kristen Wiig's character does. She kind of crosses over a little bit into what you were saying, and it is confusing because it's not as well defined. It's like in the attempt to make all of these women sort of like geniuses, with the exception of Leslie Jones, like she clearly was meant to be the black character, who is just a common person, right? Like she mimics Ernie Hudson's character.
Yeah, the token.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
That's what it was. But I think too. What
no, I meant because she worked at a toll booth. She took tokens.
Right. She took tokens. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you guys thought.
Oh, that's
we're bad
not
people,
funny.
Chadwick. Oh, we're bad.
Oh, I know what you're doing. That's not funny at all.
Also, in the cast too, I think that they really tried to overcompensate for what happened, what people viewed as a Ernie Hudson slight in the first Ghostbusters. Like I've seen, some people go and they're like, "Hey, should have been a bigger part of the movie." That's just 84, and I'm like, wasn't Eddie Murphy around at 84, guys? Did you just miss all those blockbusters or whatever? But
wasn't Eddie Murphy supposed to be in this, but he was too fucking busy.
Making money.
That's 1984.
We'll get more into that soon, but yes, absolutely. So
I mean, I feel like that also hurt the cast a little bit, because I think that they tried to divvy up that pile 25% to each character, and you can't do that. It's just it doesn't work.
Can't. It absolutely. I agree.
I'm looking through your rundown here.
Mm-hmm.
84 had a runtime of 105 minutes.
Yes.
So just what, hour and 40?
Mm-hmm.
Hour,
so
45
they got
minutes?
5 showings a day at the movie theater.
Right. So the second part we're talking about, Chadwick's on it, is the film comparison. We're going to talk about the filming of the movie, the rumors, the gossip, everything having to do with the film. Ghostbusters 1984 was a tight 105-minute runtime. Like it was tight. Directed by Ivan Reitman. I think
it was actually they actually what they wanted to call it Ghost, or they're going to call it Ghost Breakers, right? Because Ghostbusters was taken. So then they went with Ghost Breakers. Very sure on that one.
There's a real WWF situation there.
Yeah. Ghost Breakers. Don't want to get confused with the World Wildlife Foundation.
So sort of like the boring facts. Ghostbusters 1984, directed by Ivan Reitman, written by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis in conjunction, I'm sure, with others. Total runtime of 105 minutes, as Chadwick said. Budget of 25 to 30 million. But with a box office revenue of 296.6 million worldwide.
Jesus Christ!
I bet they spent
slayed.
I bet they spent almost that much on production on the new one.
We're going to talk about it. And you're absolutely not far off. As y'all said, was it Ghost Breakers?
So they'd film one scene with Ghostbusters in the background, and then with Ghost Breakers in the background, and they were like, "Fuck this! It's Ghostbusters or bust." That's what
how we're doing.
Reitman was like, "Nah, dog." Which you can catch all that shit on our Ghostbusters 84 episode in the archives. Go find it. Tell your friends. Sponsor our podcast.
Just don't look too far back.
Yeah. Don't go too far.
As I believe Chadwick mentioned, Ernie Hudson was cast as Winston, but the role was first offered to Eddie Murphy. So I guess.
Yeah, I think it was a completely different movie at that time, though. When it was offered to Eddie Murphy, it was going to be Eddie Murphy, John Belushi, and Dan Aykroyd, which what a completely different fucking film that is.
I'm pretty sure he had Beverly Hills Cop.
He was a little busy.
Yeah, he might have had some stuff going on. It wasn't important. They actually, according to my research, they actually they eliminated a big portion of the character storyline when they recasted the role because they didn't know who it was going to be. So they had to completely rewrite the character.
That makes
so that's
sense.
one reason. Yeah, that's one reason why Ernie Hudson's character wasn't a big part of the story, because they didn't know he was going to be so good and well done. They just
didn't realize he was going to be an 80-year-old Adonis.
Yeah, they didn't realize he wasn't going to age, and that's
he was just a genetic jackhammer.
This just in, Ernie Hudson is actually a ghost.
It would make sense.
I have seen shit that'll turn you white.
As we mentioned before on our previous podcast, Slimer indeed was based on John Belushi. Yeah. So the late John Belushi at that point in time. If y'all have seen any of John Belushi's stuff, you'll understand why.
And I said it then, and fuck it, I'm going to say it again. He really dove into this part.
At first.
I mean,
you wanted to be a ghost. There it is. No special effects needed.
Slimer's just throwing pills in his mouth. It's like,
and finally, the
addiction's hilarious.
The ghost. I don't know what you're talking about.
The Ghostbuster hotline was real. And callers would send, that shit's crazy, right?
Yeah.
The Ghostbusters hotline actually was real. They set up a number that you could call, and you would get of course, you wouldn't get the Ghostbusters because they were too busy busting ghosts. But you would get
it made them feel
you get a message from, you would get a message from Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd announcing they couldn't come to the phone because they were busting ghosts. And unfortunately,
Bill Murray was like, busting makes me feel good.
It was. It made him feel good.
The phone line's no longer operational, but was said to receive, at its height, as many as 1,000 calls every hour, 24 hours a day for several weeks, showing you the popularity of this movie.
You think it was busy all the time like theaters used to be?
Yeah, because I took him off the hook.
Oh, my.
Somebody's making their chord, and they're like, fuck.
Yeah.
And then 600 more people call before you can change it.
Yep.
Somebody of the correct age just cursed your name.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, that's why I couldn't get a hold of anybody there.
You know what? Don't put fucking 18-year-olds in charge of businesses. Just a little tidbit. Don't do that.
And they did.
Or do.
Yeah, you get what you pay for. That's why we got good stories here. So,
True.
like you said,
Moving on.
that one had 25 to 30 million of the budget, and it made almost 10 times its budget, up to almost $300 million worldwide.
I don't math, but
and that doesn't even probably touch your merchandise, your DVDs, your posters. That is box office.
Yeah.
That is only box office. Yes, that is only box office.
Insane back then. That's
Worldwide.
in 84 too.
Extrapolate that.
That's in 1984, man.
Yeah, we have it adjusted for inflation. That's $1984.
Yep. All right.
So
fast
compared
forward to 2016.
This movie was
$144 million budget.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big problems.
They would really lose their ass if they only took in like 229 million, right?
Damn, dude. And that's one of the problems with a lot of modern movies. One of the problems in Marvel. It's like these budgets, dude. And it started back in that era. Like, I'm not going to say that Ghostbusters 2016 was the only obviously bloated movie, but that's an insane amount of money to spend on a Ghostbusters reboot.
Well,
with an all-female cast. Like, who asked for this?
So they got what? They got 229 million worldwide off the budget, and you gotta assume the majority of that is opening week that's name value, right? Like that's people saying I'm gonna go see Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I like Ghostbusters.
I would really like to see, and maybe we can find this in a later episode. The drop off is the telltale. The drop off from week 1 to week 2 to week 3 to week 4. That tells you how a movie's really received. Rotten Tomatoes can get fucked. Like, you really want to see how a movie's received? Go watch that week 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. And if you see a sharp dive, that movie's blowing ass and people aren't down with it. It doesn't matter how many fucking tomato cocksuckers got 100%.
No, you're 100% right, because if it's a good movie, people go back and watch it. We've seen it. We've been there.
Right.
We worked for the theater industry for years, and we watched it happen. You see the same people coming back again and again and again, and maybe that's all changed now. Maybe that's over forever. I don't know. Maybe I'm interested to hear what y'all think about that. But maybe with streaming services, that's never going to happen again.
I think if you could, like, subscribe, share, comment in here. Let's get a dialogue going. Actually, we have for the first time a correspondent, Norm, who has his review of 2016 Ghostbusters.
Reviewers are calling it everything from shit to fucking shit.
There. Thank you, Norm.
Actual Ghostbusters 2016 review from Norm MacDonald, yes. Directed by Paul Feig and co-written with Katie Dippold, who is actually in the film. I can't remember which character she plays. I'm a terrible researcher, but she's also in the film as well. But she co-wrote it with...
She was a terrible character.
I
don't know which one it was, but it was terrible.
Yeah,
she was awful. Yeah, so she co-wrote it with Paul Feig, and he directed it.
So this is what's crazy too. You go look at her background. Like, she came from Parks and Rec, which I love that fucking show.
Which a lot of people don't know that. Like, I actually didn't know that. Like, when you told me that, a week or whatever ago we talked about this, like, I had to go back and look, and she's got chops, man.
And Feig came from The Office.
Yeah,
like, he was like a co-producer or something.
Well, I was going to say, I know he was a producer. Did he direct any episodes of The Office?
I don't know. I'm sure if he's at a producer level, he
did. I actually looked it up. He did direct some of the episodes, or a lot of them, actually, the ones that he was involved with.
I don't even give a shit if you're like the Andy part of The Office. Like, that's still some funny shit. Like, you should know what the fuck is going on. You should know the sauce at that point.
I'm glad you said that. Andy is by far my least favorite character in The Office.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Ed Helms fan.
I like him all right.
Yeah, come at me. I don't care.
No. I'm going to agree with Shadwick. I mean, I don't feel like
shit it over
my
me.
biggest...
Right.
Well, too late.
So I think the problem with the entire Office, like cast switch, like, as a side note, is that, like, the comparisons cannot be ignored, right?
It's like what we're doing right now, right? I mean,
exactly.
He's gonna get. You can't. Steve Carell. Either Steve Carell was that dude, or Steve Carell was very good friends with a dude that was like that. Because to play that so well is insane. Because everyone knows a dude like that. You've run into those guys, that were like Michael Scott, and it's. But anyway, so to come from that pedigree, then you list the actresses that we just talked about. You have Thor in here. You even have Gabe from The Office, who low-key was like one of my guilty pleasures in The Office, just how awkward and weird he was. And I thought that Gabe, with the beginning of the Ghostbusters 2016, I thought he was going to play like the Vigo servant part. Like, that was when he was going to get possessed.
Oh, my God, dude.
I thought it was, and I was like, good. He would play a creepy dude really well, because that's what he did in The Office. But no, they just took my dreams, and they just shit all over them.
Which brings us to the question.
They took your dream, and then they put them in one of those, like, the public female restroom things where you throw away tampons.
I bet that tastes good.
That's not the time we literally had an opportunity for you to do that. That is not it, dude.
That is not it.
That was not
Now it's becoming. Now I've weaponized it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was unfortunate timing, bro.
Now you've turned it into something dirty.
Maybe he's not talking about pizza. We don't know.
To answer the question, I think I have an answer, right? And like you said, Shadwick said, I've said, we all mentioned it. Like, what could have possibly gone wrong here, right? And, like, there's a lot of easy, simplistic answers. Well, they went broke. They went woke and broke instantly.
It means put a chick in the linguine and make her fucking dead. And I want it
Yes, there's that narrative.
Yes.
But that narrative's not real in this. It's not.
I think one of you guys touched on it earlier. I think everyone. I don't even think it was the actresses. I think it was the writer with the actresses in mind, and the the political climate at the time.
Right.
They wanted every fucking like lead actress to have like, I don't know, it's like equal time or something. So if one of them said something stupid in a scene, another one had to say something stupid.
Right, and I think that's what I think is the Winston caveat, where it was almost like, again, with that climate, with the whole like, Winston was the only black dude in the '84 one, and he didn't have very many lines until you do your fucking research and find out like, hey man, like that part changed dramatically from what it was.
That role was not written for him.
Yeah.
He got shoehorned into it. They hired him after the fact, as we just discussed, had nothing to do with racism,
right?
Whatsoever. This dude was compared to Eddie Murphy.
These narratives get started, and then that's what happens here.
And it launched his fucking career. So all of you go fuck yourself.
Yeah, no shit.
Yes.
He's been working longer than anybody now, man, and he's still looking good.
Still looking good.
And he's still looking all the time.
He's fantastic. But I believe, and I'm going to get y'all's opinion on this.
Some crunches or something.
I believe I have a beginning reasoning for what actually went wrong with Ghostbusters 2016. We're breaking it here live on Be Kind, Let's Rewind. Evidently, the reason for this movie's perfect shitstorm, rather than it wasn't like a well-timed, like Titanic-esque disaster per se, right? So you have to remember that Bill Murray was extremely reluctant to do another Ghostbusters film after Ghostbusters 2. Let's be honest, guys, it wasn't as well received as the original.
No,
it wasn't as well written.
A lot of people still shit on that movie to this day.
A lot of people.
If you want to see people like they do these lists now, where people are always like, it'll be some crazy shit. It's like top 10 albums, and it'll be like Pink Floyd, and then Led Zeppelin, and they'll be like Miley Cyrus. Her first album was number 6. Like they'll put something stupid in there, so people will be like, "Oh, rabble." I saw someone do a list on Ghostbusters, and they were like, Ghostbusters 2 is the best Ghostbusters movie. And I'm like, you did that to make me mad, and congratulations, you won.
Because now you're farming the interaction from my rage.
Now I'm mad.
Which people, it works. It absolutely works, right?
But those people start in that movie that we always saw on the shelf at the video store, the Troll.
Oh my god, dude!
Yeah, that's true. The old Troll.
Yeah.
I did not hate Ghostbusters 2.
I didn't either, but it wasn't as good as the first one. It just wasn't.
It has its moments, but agreed.
I have a giant Vigo painting in my house.
You do. We've showed it on the podcast before, and we'll show it again.
There are some excellent moments in the Ghostbusters 2, but we have to admit and be honest, it was not as well received, obviously, as the original Ghostbusters film, and because of that, Bill Murray was reticent to do a third film. He wasn't.
Yeah, because it was also like all this shit's rolling in like 2012, 2013, where they're kicking this stuff up again. Remember, like what 89 was the number 2, so like to do those movies that far apart, man. It's not a guaranteed smash, and you can actually damage a legacy. And Bill Murray was very well aware of that.
Yeah,
also,
he was
sometimes just didn't want to show up to fucking work, which I respect.
He didn't. And
do you think it was also because of Ghostbusters 2 was starting to go in that more like kiddie direction?
Yeah, I mean it's like Ninja Turtles 2. The same shit happened. Like we're selling.
Well,
toys.
I mean, you just want to sell toys. Like the producers are like, hey. We made a lot of money off of these toys.
Another revenue stream.
That's why Michael Keaton and Tim Burton dropped out of Batman. We should have had a third Michael Keaton Batman movie, but Warner Brothers was so focused on fucking selling toys and making it more kid friendly. Like, and you can even see that from Batman '89 to Batman Returns in '92.
Yeah,
they changed. They changed the color palette.
But
like, I mean, everything is just more superficial.
As much as we love, and we obviously love movies, we love nostalgia, we love TVs. It's a fucking business. So if you can get a $100 million revenue stream adjacent to your $100 million revenue stream of your movie, like why would you not? And I know that the art is there, and the art is what we love, but it's a business. These dudes that's their job, right?
Well, I'll give you a great example why that doesn't work. I'll give you two: Batman Forever, Batman and Robin.
Well, it did work though. They sold an assload of toys and made an assload of money.
To Chris's point, though, back to it, Bill Murray didn't want to show up to work, so not only was he reticent to do another Ghostbusters film, he was also had strained relations with his bosses at Sony and Columbia. They were not on the best of terms. Meanwhile, Dan Aykroyd
probably not as strained as Paul Feig's relationship with Sony now.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Paul,
don't worry.
Paul. Not
going to work here anymore anyway.
It's so. Meanwhile, Dan Aykroyd had been working on various scripts for a third movie, actually since 1989 when Ghostbusters 2 ended. He had been working on a third Ghostbusters. He wrote, the first one, and I assume he was heavily involved in the second one. I didn't do my research on that one, but I assume. And so he believed in this project. He knew it was comedic gold. Well, he knew they struck gold, at least with the first one.
The phenomenon that is Ghostbusters, there's a documentary, I think it's on Hulu or Paramount or something, called Ghost Heads, and Aykroyd's in it. And it's basically about all these people that cosplay Ghostbusters. And it's like, this is people's lives even to this day. Yeah. That thing was filmed like 4 years ago. There's people that like make their car that now. They go out into these conventions. They all have their own like Ghostbuster patches. Reichman,
they live it.
Yeah, Reichman went out there and like hung out with them and gave them all like some certificate or some shit for coming to this thing. Like it's a big fucking deal. Like that this thing did back in '84 to carry to this day.
It was massive.
We don't work in the business. We're not screenplay writers. I do think I could have come up with better dialogue than that 2016 shitfest.
Yeah.
But I think the only way that movie was ever going to work was just what they did with Afterlife. You have to play heavy in the nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And you have to go new. You have to this movie 16 more or less was was it branded as a reboot or
exactly? Well, that's what I was about to. That's what I was about to talk about. So, as Dan Aykroyd had been working on his various scripts for the third movie, he finally landed on one in 1999. So, 10 years later, right? He came up with Ghostbusters in Hell, tentatively titled, and I don't believe Bill Murray was in it because at that point in time, he still hadn't. He still wasn't 100% on board. Ivan Reitman had his own idea for a script, and it would be a reboot of the original film beginning in 2013, excluding Bill Murray since they couldn't get him to commit. But in 2014, Harold Ramis passed away.
And I think that's where the bad taste gets in my mouth is because I knew in 2012, because I remember I was living down in North Shore, I remember hearing the rumblings, hey, they have a script. They're just trying to get Bill Murray on board for it.
Yes.
And then as it seemed, and maybe this is not the case, Lee, if you can correct me in your research, it seemed almost as soon as Ramis died, this project got greenlit.
It was almost 100% the case.
And
what happened?
That sucks.
What happened was it's really a perfect shitstorm, and it's actually kind of tragic. Harold Ramis passes away. Egon, for those of you who don't know, one of the main writers, directors, extremely accomplished director.
Man. Yeah,
dude, he wrote, directed Groundhog Day, one of the Bill Murray classics. Dude, guy was a genius.
He had a bit part in As Good as It Gets, one of my all-time favorite Jack Nicholson movies.
Yes, just an exceptional talent. Passed away in 2014, and so basically, Ivan Reitman was like, "I'm out. Like, we can't get Bill Murray. Harold Ramis is gone. I'm off to do other things." And what was left on the table was the idea. Reitman's script and everything went with him when he left, right? Was the idea of a Ghostbusters reboot. That was all that was left. And he got replaced by Paul Feig. And Paul Feig brought his ideas and fresh shit that he literally pulled it out of his butthole and brought it on the table. And everybody was like, do it. Just go. Like, go. Like, he's like, but I got an all-female cast and they were like, dude, we were going to reboot it anyways. You do you. And the directors, the execs, everyone were like, you have full reign.
This is also Hollywood. And we know Hollywood is again, we no politics on this podcast. We're just not going to do it. But Hollywood is classically pretty left and swept up in that time period of an all-female Ghostbusters reboot was music to their ears, and they hoped money to their bank accounts. So they thought, hey, this is a home run. And I mean, again, like we talked about, you look at the cast, you look at the director,
look at the cast,
you look at the director.
I would be interested if we could find it. I'd like to know how much time was spent on the script. Like, this movie was greenlit.
It could have been more than a year.
And then they wrote the script, or they wrote the script.
Unless he had the script, he came to the table with the script.
So when Ivan Reitman left, Paul Feig was selected to replace him with all of his ideas and all of his script, and his people brought in late 2024, and they almost immediately began to film.
Okay.
A year and a half.
I just can't believe. I can't believe that any of this, especially the dialogue, belonged to Reitman.
No, Reitman took a script. Leaf said. So I mean, his script was gone. The idea of the reboot was there, and that's what he ran with. Okay. So
Ivan Reitman. So like, he had a script, but when Harold Ramis passed away, he took other projects and he officially left the Ghostbusters because he thought it was dead. Like, he was like, I don't want to be in. Like, Harold Ramis is gone. Bill Murray won't do it. Like, what is there left here? Like, there's nothing left. I'm out. And so Ivan took his script and everything and bailed, and they replaced him.
Yeah.
The execs at Columbia, they replaced him with Paul Feig.
And I will say
Paul Feig had his own ideas.
We are universally shitting on this movie, and rightfully so. But, like, if you like a movie, go watch a movie. If you think you're going to like a movie, go watch a movie. Go support the industry. But, like, don't get swayed by angry, minorities of different people that are angrier about this or happy about this. Like, make up your own fucking mind. Just go.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't watch this movie for 8 years, and now there's 2 hours of my life that I'll never fucking get back.
Ever. It was as bad as everyone said it was. I had to know.
And on the flip side, what Chris is saying, just because you like a subject, like, you're a big Superman fan, it doesn't mean every fucking Superman movie is going to be great.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you can go in and form your own opinions.
And you should.
It just so happens that our opinion on how shitty this movie is fact.
Go form, like he said, form your own opinion. Use your own fucking brain, man. And then, because if you don't, I mean,
bitches leave.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you guys mentioned that.
100% welcome anybody in the comments. Please tell us why we're wrong.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
If there's a different perspective on it, I'd love to hear it. And we will definitely respond to you.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, since we're still talking about, like,
put it in the comments, please.
We're still talking about the filming of the movie and the backlash from it, and we can't leave, since Chris brought it up. We can't leave without talking about it. And it turns out, in my opinion, and again, like Shavik said, if you think I'm wrong, you think we're wrong, I'm going to get their opinion on it.
Yeah.
I'm going to give mine, about my, and so again, I had never watched it before. I recently just watched it. I heard it was garbage, and it was garbage. But upon doing my own research, I learned that the truth is generally, like most things, somewhere in between a lot of times. Was this just a woke piece of garbage where they replaced the cast?
No.
Cast and crew? Like, no. Like, this was a talented, proven director who had done multiple things in the past.
Multiple box office, man. He's made some money.
Yeah, regardless of his tour de force or what you think about him personally, this is a successful man who had done a lot of good work before. This is a talented cast. Yes, they are all female, but they are all alumni of Saturday Night Live. They are talented actresses and writers. On paper, if you had brought this to me before I did my own research, I'd have been like, no way this fails.
Yeah.
There's no way. You have a talented director. You've got good writers. You've got Saturday Night Live. Like, it might not be for me, but a lot of people are going to be into this, and that's exactly what most people thought when it was being made, at least in Hollywood. What they didn't understand, of course, was how the public was going to react, and that's what I'm about to talk about. As expected, the film's first trailer was absolutely lambasted on YouTube and became the most disliked film on the platform to that date.
Wow.
It got obliterated. And I mean, you guys can kind of theorize why that happened. Some journalists
I'll tell
suggested,
you why it happened. Because generally speaking, when you make a trailer, you pick out the best parts of the movie and kind of, edit it all together, whatever. If there's no good parts of the movie, what the fuck are you going to do?
It's true.
Right. You kind of just have to, you kind of got to pay people into thinking.
CGI was okay, maybe.
No.
I kind of liked it. I was in between.
No, man. See, it was fucking Scooby Doo.
Yeah, I know it was.
Oh no!
Look, if you haven't figured this out yet, one of my pet peeves is like oversaturation with colors. Fucking, I'm gonna say this name one more fucking time. Batman and Robin, with all the fucking neon greens and reds, all that
and
bullshit,
the pastels, man.
And
old school, this movie sure sucks dick.
Okay. Let's get out of here.
Well, and so that we can't also ignore this was an election year. The political climate was charged. It absolutely was charged. People believe that narratives were being pushed upon them. And an all-female Ghostbusters, just for no reason that no one asked for, seemed, I'm not going to lie, when I saw it, I was like, why are you doing this?
Yeah,
why are you remaking the Ghostbusters with women?
You know what? I didn't actually think about that with it being 2016.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I guess
it mattered.
It did.
Yeah, it does. It does, because apparently women can be Ghostbusters, more or less.
We've learned that women can be anything except for president.
Well, I know you're roasting.
That was for you. That was for you, honey.
Listen, I know you're roasting, but that actually was a big narrative on a lot of people that saw this coming out. It's like, oh, so everything has to be like female centric now.
And
right?
this was also too. This was when the social media was still kind of the untamed wild west, before people's IP addresses started being discovered, and people were like, "Oh, hey, you threatened someone's life on there? Yeah, that's a fucking felony. You can't do that." So, which brings us to another part.
You can't threaten Meredith Vieira that many times.
Yes, you can't do that. An unknown person, but great song of booze of the week. The shit that, again, this movie was asked. It's okay to be like that. Your movie blows, like that's whatever. Again, this is kind of Wild West, but the shit that happened to Leslie Jones was awful. Like that's bad, and no one should have to, no one should have to go through that shit. Like people like attacking her, racist shit, threatening to kill her, trying,
So for those of you who don't know, like it just shit.
Now maybe after they had seen the movie, maybe
a racist tirade was in order.
A tirade, maybe not a racist tirade, but yeah.
All right, okay, fair.
Yeah, all right, fuck.
Well, so I'm going to go into that because we do need to talk about it. So immediately the lines in the sand were drawn,
right, and that's the biggest problem.
The political. It is a huge problem. Some journalists suggested the reaction to the trailer was a campaign to downvote the film into oblivion, and then the shit hit the fan. Paul Feig, actresses like Melissa McCarthy began to attack all detractors, labeling them misogynistic and racist.
Also, on their end, you can't fucking do that as an actress.
Entitled, exactly. Like they attacked people who were simply like, I don't think this is a good idea. In which I was one of them. I'm like, I don't think this is a good idea. Had nothing to do with the female cast. I was just like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Why are you making another Ghostbusters that is, which I didn't completely understand until I watched it, was a total remake of the original.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was.
And you didn't do it better. You did do it better.
You
didn't do it
not.
different. And either better than or different than. Those are your two options.
Right.
You threw in cameos from the original cast. Yeah. But it had like no point to the story.
No, well, and people rightfully called that out. They were like, "Well, the only reason you're doing this is so you can rubber stamp. You can get the original actors to rubber stamp what you're doing, which is garbage.
Which is where they fucked up because you can't triple stamp a double stamp, and we learned that in Dumb and Dumber.
You can't triple stamp a double stamp. You can't triple stamp a double stamp, Lord. You can't triple stamp a double stamp.
You can't triple stamp a double stamp. You can't triple stamp a double stamp.
Also, I want to call out some bullshit that also, as I ripped on Rotten Tomatoes earlier. Just so you know, Rotten Tomatoes gave this movie a 74%. I'm not sure in what fucking universe this gets you a C in high school. If I turned this script in, they would have kicked me out of school, castrated me,
immediately,
and put me out to sea. Tied up to a bar.
100%.
And the audience score was 49%.
They just take you out to the woods and leave you.
Let the couch
be free.
Yeah, just go be free. Go run. Be free.
And so that's a perfect place for me to land with what I think is what you're finding is the fans attacking the film actresses, directors attacking the fans. Like of this, both of them not seeing eye to eye, both of them doing wrong. I mean, obviously, Leslie Jones did not deserve a racist tirade, and there was an active campaign to destroy the movie before it came out. There was a coordinated online effort to lower the rating of the film on IMDb before its initial release.
Right.
There were people that were trying to destroy this film before it came out
too. But
and it turned especially because it turns out you didn't have to do that.
It was going to take care of itself.
It was going to lose anyway.
Yeah,
you just needed an opening weekend.
I think the biggest issue with this, like as we talk about it and as shit kind of opens up in front of my eyes here, is this was a case of industry versus consumer, and you never want that. So you have people lashing out at possible consumers of your product, insulting them because they don't like your movie, which is like, that's their opinion. You can't do that. But then you also have people insulting a movie they haven't fucking seen. So
because they don't like the premise of it, which is like, this is the sad part. It's like, you're entitled to have that opinion. I'm sorry for everyone who, like, you don't have to be a racist misogynist. You could just be like, I don't like this idea. It is your right. And you don't want your actresses and directors and film workers attacking the customers. That's ridiculous.
You can't do that.
Why would you do that? Well, and you know what's crazy? This is one of the films, and I know Shai was going to add to this too, is that this became a thing. I'm not going to say this was even the first one because it was probably maybe even before, but during this time period in 2016, it started to be okay for actresses and actors to go on Twitter and just blast people that are going to potential customers. They're going to see the movie and call them names and call them entitled.
Yeah, or say some shit like
racist.
If you're a man, don't go see my movie, or like, some ignorant shit. Go alienate 50% of your possible clientele. Let me tell you how business works, friends. You create a product, people buy that product.
We talked about it on the inflation episode. Do you know how much fucking money it costs to go see a movie now?
Yeah.
You don't want me to go see it? I don't really care to see it. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. And which is what a lot of people that weren't involved in, they didn't have any opinion one way or the other. Like, they swayed them against them. Yeah. And that's one reason the internet backlash was so bad.
Right.
It was partly Paul Feig and the actress's fault for attacking people, because guess what? The media loves pitting us against each other. Spoiler alert, I know, right? But they get views when they're like, hey, did you hear what Paul Feig said about you guys? You guys are a bunch of misogynist white incels. Yeah. Whoa, right? That's really messed up. And you're like, what did you say? What did you say about me? And like, you don't even know anything about Ghostbusters. Was that the first thing you hear?
Wait a second. You know how much privilege I have?
Yeah, it was an absolute unmitigated disaster on both sides. And yeah, both people and both groups that were against each other had like legitimate grievances with one another, but it just escalates and escalates and escalates, and everybody's pitting everybody against everyone else.
Let me ask you this. What do you think happens? This movie comes out, the cast ignores the backlash. No one comes out and says any of the nasty shit's being said to him on Twitter. No one says anything. They just go to their tour. They smile. They shake hands. They do whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think it seems to me when the cast fired back, the backlash intensified times 10.
Yes, it absolutely did.
Well, it did. But also, they're not protecting a good product.
No, I agree. Yeah. But I mean, I'm sorry, but if you made the movie, like you're not gonna go you're not gonna go on Conan O'Brien with Norm and be like, this chairman of the board, do something with that.
Yeah. No.
Man, it was spelled Bored.
It was, man.
I actually 100% agree with what Shadwick said, is that I think in the end, no matter what happens with Ghostbusters 2016, it is a net negative. I don't believe but I believe you make a lot more money overall, and you don't incentivize people to come against you the next time. Like, Kevin Feige is ruined, and it's Kevin Feige's fault. He made a stinker. He won't admit it, right? Like, he still rails. We'll talk about that in a minute. He still rails against these people. He will not let it go. Like, I know you believe in your product. We believe in ours too. We believe Be Kind, Let's Rewind is an insanely good podcast. You should subscribe. You should share it with your friends, et cetera, et cetera. But you know what? If you disagree with us, we can't do anything about that.
It's okay.
Don't click on it. It's okay. We're go next. There's plenty of other material for you.
But at the same time, come back for another episode. You might like that.
Yeah,
you never know.
So one counterpoint.
You just don't discount a whole group of people because they don't agree with one thing.
Yeah, well, that's generalized. You get in a lot of trouble doing that. But Arnold, for instance, when I talk about selling your product and shaking hands and kissing babies and all that shit, Arnold in his book, if you didn't know any better, when he's talking about his Batman movie, he talks about that as a success it was, and all the toys it sold, and all the merchandise it sold, and he doesn't say nary a fucking bad word about it. And if you didn't know any better, you'd be like, movie fucks. It doesn't, but he's a professional, and he knows how to sell a movie, and that's what he does. He goes overseas, and he sells movies. That's part of the reason he was so big early on, is he could go sell overseas, and he could go sell in the States. And but when you stop selling to people and you start attacking them, you're losing consumers.
The only thing I can say about that is, nice to see you.
Look, Arnold gets a pass. All right, everybody gets.
I mean, Kevin Feige couldn't admit it, but universally, when the dust settled, Shaq was correct. You cannot. What was going to happen was going to happen, and the majority opinion was this movie sucked camel dicks. It's not a good film, and you know who else agreed? Well, I'll tell you, Sony and Columbia agreed, because this movie lost a lot of money by every available metric, which we've talked about. But when the Ghostbusters trilogy set was released in 2022, guess which movie wasn't in it? which Paul Feig. This is so funny, dude.
They got Rocky V.
Yes.
Paul Feig's just like,
come on, pug. Touch me and I'll sue.
He went on Twitter. You'll never guess what he said. He was
he's like, get the fuck off my lawn.
He goes, how dare you basically look over this movie? It won a Kids' Choice Award. It was his defense. He was like, this is a good film by every available metric. It's like, Paul.
He said, I got one of these.
This man
please.
Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Award.
Paul, not the children. Please.
I mean, he's got to put it. The man was responsible for bringing a JCPenney's. I mean, what do you want from him?
Ask anybody.
Ask anybody. They'll tell you.
Ask anybody.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That is the worst set I've ever seen.
I can't believe you fucking found that.
Kids' Choice. The face of the business?
The face of the business.
I am the face face of the business. Okay?
The face of the business.
That's what he said, dude. Paul, your movie sucks, bro. You made us. It's okay. You made Freaks and Geeks. You can recover from this, dude.
Just look back. Just watch it.
Just watch it, man.
He can't help himself, man.
Just watch it and let all that hate go away.
I did hear.
Let it go.
When I was researching for this, I was watching some other people do some reviews of this, and we always try to chop it up and make it just a little bit different or have our own opinions on it. But somebody was like, there is a director's cut that's like 15 extra minutes, and they're like, it actually makes the movie a lot better. And I was like, I can't. I fucking can't. You can tell me that, and maybe this is how people felt about the Snyder cut when they're like, I'm not fucking watching it. And I was like, no, I'll watch it. That's fine. Like, but this is how I feel about this. Like, it's 15 extra minutes. No. Pass.
It's so bloated already.
I'm gonna tell you, the Snyder cut, it was actually a lot better.
It was. We watched it together, I think.
There's a lot of.
I watched it too with my friend.
There's a lot of connective tissue that gets cut by the studios because, like you said, they want more showings per day. So there's the Batman versus Superman and Justice League. Yeah, they were both cut by the studio for runtime, and in my opinion, kind of destroyed the movie. Yeah, like it made things too choppy. You didn't know what led from one scene to the next.
I believe they tried to choppy their pee-pee.
I saw the message. Choppy, yo, pee-pee.
I suspect the case with Ghostbusters 2016 is it would just be more shit on top of shit.
It would be.
Would have more scenes of them getting in the car and one person going, let's do this. And then it was like, let's go.
It just it was so bloated already, man. And I mean, so if you need any other, so finally, you know, in the filming section here of the verses, you don't need to look any further than what Dan Aykroyd said, like from his own words, and I'll quote: the director, Paul Feig, excuse me, he spent too much on it. Aykroyd said he didn't shoot the scenes we suggested to him and several scenes that were going to be needed. He said, nah, we don't need them. Then we tested the movie and they needed them, and he had to go back and refilm them. About $30 to $40 million in reshoots. Fuck. So he will not be back on the Sony lot anytime soon.
From the mouth of Dan Aykroyd himself.
Dan Aykroyd.
Those Sony guys are like,
what? Abacus. An old school. Yeah, like quite literally. They told him, and so later on he kind of went back on what he said a little bit. He said Paul Feig made a good movie. I guess maybe Dan Aykroyd's handlers got a hold of him. He said Paul Feig made a good movie and had a superb cast and plenty of money to do it. We just wish he had been more inclusive to the originators. It cost everyone as it is. Unlikely Kristen, Leslie, Melissa, and Kate, as it is, they will never reprise their roles as Ghostbusters, which is sad because he would not, according to Dan Aykroyd, he wouldn't listen to the old school originators, like Dan Aykroyd.
What fucking stones on your below your shaft do you have that you're like, I can do Ghostbusters better than the Ghostbusters?
There it is.
Yeah,
there it is.
I know it sounds like a dirty sexual word, but hubris.
There it is.
That's a
dude. He had Dan Aykroyd.
Maybe it is a dirty, shameful thing.
It is for him.
Hubris.
Jesus.
He had the originators right there, minus of course like Harold Ramis. He had Dan Aykroyd. He had access to all those people.
He had access to Reichman. Like he could have got Reichman back.
Yes.
Like.
He
And
could have
Aykroyd
called
was
that guy
involved,
up.
obviously, when he was like telling him you need this and this. Like,
yeah.
So,
and Paul Feig did his own thing, and you saw how it worked out.
So, supporting that. I don't. Was this at the height of the Me Too movement? Also,
I don't know.
Which was hilariously labeled "Pound Me Too." But anyway, to support that narrative of like the gender swap, they put Chris Hemsworth in here, a character that has no relation to a character in the original.
None.
But I think they were trying to exploit the whole like blonde bimbo, guys just keep around the office to look at, basically, like she's not worth a shit at anything.
But like we kind of talked about in our group chat, like who were they fucking going after, Porkies? Or I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, what movie were they going after? Like,
I don't know, the blonde in Superman 3.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, Jesus Christ! Like,
even she had little tidbits of insight.
Like, what fucking dumb blondes like have been in really in a lot of these movies in the 90s? I can't really maybe I'm sure there are, but off the top of my head, like that shit's been long done and gone, man.
To me,
yes, maybe they were trying to make him an influencer.
To me,
that would make sense.
Podcast. Basically, to me, that's like the most wokey part of the film is like the some of the lines and the way they sort of treated like Chris Hemsworth. It's like they wanted to stick it to this idea that men have traditionally used women in film as nothing but eye candy, which is come at me in the chat. Like, come at me. It is absolutely unequivocally not true.
We've talked about fucking Terminator 2. We've talked about Aliens. We've talked about fucking Halloween. We talked about True Fucking Lies. We've talked about like all these movies with smart fucking women and strong women in these roles. And it's like Carol Burnett apparently didn't fucking exist.
Evidently, no. Rachel and I rewatched the old school James Bond films, which is notoriously supposed to be misogynistic. He was sexually assaulted by women multiple times in the 60s. We watched it live.
And
my wife
he
was
didn't complain one time.
No, he did not. He loved it because we love it. Ladies.
He didn't wait until those women were in power and then said, you know what? And she grabbed my balls one time.
Shadwick touched the guy's balls in Hebrew school once.
He told me he loved me.
It's not to say that women didn't get shit roles and they weren't sexualized. They absolutely were. Yeah,
but because they're more attractive than us.
Exactly.
I mean,
the point is,
I've never seen one of them with a hairy asshole.
True. Yeah. Very, very true. True. But the point was, it's like, so again, to Chris's point and Shadwick's point both, we don't know who they were trying to dunk on by making Chris Hemsworth basically retarded for all intents and purposes. And he was mentally handicapped.
That role could work. That could be funny, him being like dumb, but he was like, it just didn't land.
It was a weird flex, and I'm not really sure who they were trying to dunk on by casting the character. He was terrible, and I believe it was the way that he was written. And speaking of that, let's talk about the story. This is section 3 before we give our final results. The story versus story. Ghostbusters 1984. A quick synopsis, and then you guys can give your most loved and hated scenes for Ghostbusters 1984. 3 parapsychologists forced out of their university funding set up shop as a unique ghost removal service in New York City, attracting frightened and skeptical customers.
So
that's
for me, this story, and maybe it's like that there's like I call it, I guess people call it a bromance, but like 3 dudes working together. And even though Bill Murray is like a shyster, as soon as he figures out like, oh shit, we can actually make money in this, then like he's on board. But they're all like, the peak of this. They're all putting in the fucking hours. They're all working together. They're building this business. There's a love interest. There's your side characters, everything. I think the original Ghostbusters story is about damn near perfect. As far as a story goes, for me, for what I enjoy in a movie, this is about damn near perfect. Because you have a problem, the problem gets solved in the 3rd act, and then we all go home. We all go home and fuck the prom queen or the sleeve of your favorite jacket. Either one.
Whatever you can.
I'll be doing the latter.
Losers always talk about their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
I agree 100% with Chris, and it so much to the degree that I think that's what the 2016 Ghostbusters. I think that's why there's a lack of synergy, and I just want to say that out of the gate in Ghostbusters 1984. These guys are friends before they're anything else. And I think that is often missed about Ghostbusters is that, Bill Murray is kind of a shyster. He does kind of manipulate Ray. He steals a whole bunch of money from Ray's parents or forces him to sell
a lot of people
his
have
old parents'
mortgages.
Well, a lot of people are doing that, and there doesn't seem to be a downside.
But they are friends, though. They're bros before everything. They're literally drinking liquor together. Remember that one scene? And they're talking about, let's do this. Like, ghosts are real. Yeah, we can make this a thing. And like you could tell, they're friends before anything out of the gate. And we'll talk about. I'll give Shavik a chance, but I just want to briefly mention.
I think that too is like where the 2016 misses. Is there's a divide. It's not all three all in. It's there's a gap.
Yes.
All right, Shadwick.
Instantly, they are estranged from each other in 2016. I'll talk about it in a minute. Yeah, Shadwick, your thoughts about 84?
Yeah, 84. I mean, you guys already said it. The chemistry between all the main characters, even the supporting characters, like you give a shit about them.
Yeah.
Plus the world building. You know, the environment. You get some of those classic like New York shots.
Yeah. Man. You feel like you're there.
Like, yeah,
you really do.
And the story's great. It's solid. You've got, I would like to know how much of the movie was ad-libbed.
Yeah, that would be awesome to know.
But
you brought up a really good point I didn't think about, Shadwick. How much of the Ghostbusters is the story of New York in 1984? I never thought about that till right when you said that. Is that it is quintessentially about New York City and the people of New York.
New York was ass in the 80s, right? Like, so,
it was so.
So this was a triumphant
porn
story
shops
for New York. This is New York overcoming. This is New York. This and
coming together.
You can't fake energy. People were excited the movie's being filmed there, and you can see that with the extras and shit. There's a vibe. There's an energy that comes across.
And all those thousands of people calling that number every day.
Exactly.
Yeah,
every hour.
People were. I never even thought about that, and that is something that is missing from Ghostbusters 2016. Is that sense of New York, United States unity that we're gonna. There's something that this is a shithole like state. City, right? At that point in time in history, like Chris said, and it's kind of them coming together. It's like we have a common enemy. We're united against them, and it's just like American exceptionalism mattered.
Sometimes shit happens. Someone has to deal with it, and who are you going to call?
There it is.
And because busted makes you feel good. But moving to 2016, the quick synopsis
in 84. Did you guys have anything that you didn't like about it?
No, there's no scene that I ignore when I watch it back. There's nothing I want to fast forward to. There's nothing that makes me pull my phone out. Like, I thoroughly enjoy that one from start to finish.
Yep.
And it's in the one of the big reasons is, and we'll talk about here in a second, is that it is a very quick movie. There's no fat on that movie at all, and you really don't have time to pull out your phone and look. There's no parts in it that's wasted. There's no extra conversation that is useless. Nobody trying to act another person or trying to capture the scene away from another. Everybody's
you get
sort
lost
of
in that story from the fucking jump, and you're in it
instantly. And it's not all
laces
comedy.
Out, cookie.
Yeah, as soon as that ghost in the library like screams at you and your little dick turns inside out, you're like, I'm in now.
Yeah, I know. Laces out.
You don't forget. Immediately you get that moment, and you kind of miss that with Ghostbusters 2016. So a quick synopsis of that: following a ghost invasion of Manhattan, paranormal enthusiast Aaron Gilbert and Abby Yates, nuclear engineer Jillian Holtzman, and subway worker Patty Tolman band together to stop the otherworldly threat. And
you know what? I'm going to say something nice about this movie.
Do it.
Well, it's going to be something nice but it's gonna be wrapped in hate.
It's peppered with hate.
So there's a layer of respect, admittedly, for your truthfulness, peppered with hate.
Yes, it's respectful hate.
Yeah.
So I actually like the idea that the guy had created these little machines or whatever that was creating this portal or
unleash the ghosts of the world.
It was opening a portal between the astral plane and the physical plane,
right.
Which I kind of like that because I kind of leaned toward that way of thinking. I think spiritual stuff is I think we don't know it yet, but it can be explained scientifically. I think we just don't have the capability of seeing it yet. So I actually like that part of it. I don't like that the guy that was creating it was basically someone that was bullied in high school, and he's trying to unleash ghosts on the world instead of shooting up his high school. Like,
just get real.
Yeah.
Why should you're mad he didn't create the ghosts? He's trying to unleash the ghosts. That's what you're upset about.
Well, just you want someone. You want your nemesis. Like he used her
pity.
research, right?
Like you're using like pity. Like again, like it's kind of like in the Joker movie.
Yeah.
When I was when that one that came out with Joaquin Phoenix, and I was like, I'd see the previews and he's being bullied and all this shit, and I was like, I don't want to feel sympathy for the Joker. Now, they did a good job and they turned that shit around, but that was part of the journey for me. I was like, how are you going to make me hate this guy now that like you've also made me feel sorry for? Like, I feel like you just need to have somebody that's just like the guy that has no dick, Your Honor. Like that dude is a dickhole through and through. There's no good about him, and he locks him up and all this shit. Like he's a real fucking bad dude.
No, it is true. This man has no
he
dick.
has no dick,
right?
You know, but like that's a bad guy. Like this one, like he said, it's just it's soft and it's just like I like the idea of that. I do like the idea of the paranormal.
So it's a floppy flopper.
Yeah. I like the idea of the of them hitting on like the whole paranormal shit that you have now. Like they updated everything. Like they did that well, where it's like, okay, this is on social media. This is like ghost hunters, or this is whatever the fuck, you know.
But there's not one single memorable line from that movie.
No.
Like we could sit here and quote 84, all night long.
And we have going to archives.
Yeah.
True.
But I couldn't tell you not one single thing that stuck with me. There's nothing meaningful. There's nothing, memorable. There's nothing that's funny, really.
Well, like whenever the ghost like pukes on what's her name's character, and she's like, "He slimed me, Ray." That was pretty memorable.
Oh wait, no.
No.
Well, that didn't happen in 2016. Yeah.
All right, Leaf, what do you say?
All right, my feelings about the story with Ghostbusters 2016. I actually really enjoyed the first like 15 to 20 minutes of the film. I actually did, before it became really a locked-in Ghostbusters movie, and they started with the Ghostbusters remaking, shitting on what we all know is a far superior movie. I feel like even the probably actresses, would probably agree with that in some respects. Maybe they wouldn't admit it, but when it was just Kristen Wiig being Kristen Wiig, in her interactions with the dean, like I thought that was like extremely charming. Like I thought it was really funny. Like her character in general, it seemed like a really kind of goofy and campy movie. Like I just didn't think it was that bad until all of the characters kind of coalesced together. That's where it really fell apart, because immediately, as we mentioned before, you miss the synergy. The two main actresses, Kristen Wiig's character and Melissa McCarthy, they're enemies.
Yeah.
Immediately. And they never rectify that.
Right.
Kristen Wiig just sort of forgets about all of their animosity because she's out of a job, and you're just kind of assume that like they no longer hate each other, and that is a gigantic failure in writing because you don't establish any synergy between the people. Like Ray, Egon, and Venkman, they all have history together. They grew up
out of the
together.
gate, like you got three dudes that are like, they're
dudes.
tied out of the gate, right?
Yeah, they're tied out of the gate, and so when like one of them like gets they all go together.
Yeah.
They all share in misery, and they also share in the victory of creating this ghost busting business,
just an unneeded
which I realized
conflict in 2016.
I bet
there's
I bet
out of the gate.
I bet Patty's not tied.
I bet. I bet actually, and the worst travesty of Ghostbusters 2016, absolutely unacceptable. When I almost had to turn the film off, is when they turned Bill Murray into the guy with no dick.
Yeah,
and that was unacceptable. And I don't even care if he was 100% with it, or even it was Bill Murray's idea. I don't care.
Yeah,
that was a bastardization of his character, and I cannot see him as this cynical, evil role. It was nasty and gross.
That role reminded me of the reporter that was covering the Tiger King. Do you remember that guy?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Like, I don't know. It's just like
scumbag.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any sense. It's like, why are you doing this? And it's like, well, he's in the and this is what aggravates me now. Is now that I look back at people are like, well, the original Ghostbusters was in the film. Like, it's like you could tell, like their hearts weren't in it. Look up interviews with Bill Murray. Like they show parts of the previews, and he's fighting not to cringe out of his skin. He doesn't like it. You can't convince me. Dan Aykroyd admitted he did not like it.
Yeah.
And he went back on some of what he said, but it was like, it was purely for pragmatism. It was not well done, and the originators didn't like it, and everyone could feel it, and it reflects in people's thoughts about the film today. It's bad.
That's just Dan Aykroyd like playing the game, basically.
Well, I mean, you can't hate on somebody for
No,
and I mean
I
dude, for him to like try to give him the old college try and try to be like, all right, man, like here you go, this is not gonna work, but
I'll guide you.
He's like, you know what? He's
listen
like,
to
you know
me.
what? You guys shouldn't listen to me. I mean, what the fuck do I know? I only wrote, Ghostbusters 1 and 2. What have I done in my fucking life? So
I've got a third script.
I only made more than your budget.
Yeah, so don't worry about it. So, all right, man, let's go ahead and bring this one home, and we'll just go pretty rapid. I know everybody that's with us at this, they're like, fuck, man, what are you guys gonna pick? So, which movie had the better cast? I'm going to go with, I don't know, Ghostbusters 84.
It's going to be a tough call on this one, but I gotta side with Ghostbusters. 1984 is the better cast. You cannot beat the synergy between the bros. The girls just didn't pull it off. I don't blame them. All talented actresses. They were written and directed poorly. I mostly blame Kevin Feige. That guy is an arrogant. Yeah, excuse me. Did I say Kevin again?
Yeah.
Paul Feig, that guy's an arrogant. That guy is an arrogant asshole. Like everything I've ever seen from him in social media, he can't help himself. He may have had some hits in the past, but his fucking ego got in his way. And even now to this day, he will not admit this is a turd. Everyone knows it is. Kevin, Paul, whatever the fuck your name is, go fuck yourself.
You know what? I scrolled through his IMDb list today, and Bridesmaid was okay.
It was okay,
but there's nothing in his catalog that would just kill me if it didn't exist.
Yeah, I agree. Right. So Chadwick, you gonna, I assume,
cast?
Oh yeah,
84.
Yeah, Do Re
Egon. All right, man. So, which movie had the better overall story? Shocker again. I'm going to go with 84. I know the stories are, they're kind of in the same ballpark or whatever, but it's 84, man, all day. Leaf.
I was honestly going to say, you know what? They're basically like the remake in Ghostbusters 2016 is just a literal retcon version of the original story, but it's inferior in a lot of ways because they just simply didn't. They tried to add unique elements that just don't really work. There's so much fat on Ghostbusters 2016. And I mentioned it before, like 1984 is so lean. It's quick. It's to the point. It's snappy. They're able to cover in conversations what it took scenes for Ghostbusters 2016 to hash out, and it just feels it drags bad. They needed to cut. I mean, they needed to cut a huge chunk of that movie. I can't even imagine you guys saying.
Well, if they had just cut out all of the dialogue, it would have been better.
I mean, basically, for all intents and purposes, if you could just, I can't believe there's an extended version.
Yeah, no,
I can't imagine more.
No, it's better.
More of that.
Oh, the dragons are coming. You just have to trust me. The dragons are coming.
Oh, they're coming. The dragons are on their way.
1984 all the way, 100%.
Yeah, this movie lacked wiener.
Floppy wiener, floppy wiener.
Overall, 84 is by far the superior film. I've mentioned before the atmosphere, the environment. You felt like you were in New York. Maybe it's just filming with digital cameras now or whatever it is, higher definition, but everything seems artificial in this movie.
Yeah.
100%. The ghosts all have that fucking neon, oversaturated.
Little scoobs.
Yeah. Did you have any of those videos queued up or those gifts I sent you from Scooby Doo?
No, but I'll put them in post.
Because there was one that really would have prompted that gorilla.
Yeah.
We'll have to add that later on.
But 84 is by far better. Mm-hmm. So to wrap it up, 2016. I'm going to give you guys a metaphor. Since my surgery, I've been taking a shit ton of vitamins, and I've tried.
Saying your prayers.
I've tried. Yep,
brother.
Absolutely, brother. But I've gone through like 3 or 4 different types of vitamin C, and it's just a crapshoot. Every time I get the tablets, like they just taste like absolute shit. So I got some powder, and I mixed it in this the shake in the morning. I, put a tablespoon in there with all my other accoutrement and my morning shake.
Plus, I ran out of bread.
Yep. And then about 3:30 in the afternoon, I have to go to the bathroom. And was there ever a mascot for peanut butter?
No.
I mean, Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan was Peter Pan.
What was the
Tinkerbell?
What was the peanut Planters?
Planters peanut. Yeah,
Mr. Peanut.
Anyway, in the toilet, it looks like I took a shotgun to their entire family, and that's what Ghostbusters 2016 is.
Ladies and gentlemen, final verdict. Chadwick just came.
Chadwick came. You speak for us all. So the winner is Ghostbusters 1984. Guys, this was fun. Paul Feig. Just gonna warn you, man. Leaf knows how to handle himself. You want to try to come at him in the streets? I'm just gonna tell you,
dude. Yeah, you don't want to mess with me. Come on, man. Come on.
You think Leslie got some racial slurs? Come at Leaf.
Why?
What are you talking about, dude?
You know what you did.
Yeah.
Don't at me on Twitter, man. Yeah. I didn't do nothing, Leslie.
I didn't do nothing.
I don't have anything against you at all. Like,
no. Seriously, Leslie. This wasn't you. It wasn't any of the
nothing
actions.
Personal.
No, it's
nothing.
Like I thought you were funny in SNL and in that one skit, and
look, she made a bag. Good for her. You made a bag. Like whatever, man. Go do your thing. Shit's not for everybody. We understand that.
That's true.
Just be careful spinning it.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Things like this tend to stick with you.
Hoard your nuts for the cold winter.
Winter's coming.
And with that, let's go ahead and lead us over to our Norm Macdonald clip of the week.
Angry over the Atlanta Braves and Cleveland Indians' use of Indian caricatures as logos, Native Americans showed up at the World Series tonight. They chanted for hours to protest Indian stereotypes, though it didn't help their cause any when it started to rain.